In 1893 Chicago, a man in saffron robes walked onto a stage and said just 2 words. The entire hall erupted. What happened next changed how the world saw India forever. Picture America in the closing years of the 19th century. It is a time of industrial triumph and spiritual hunger. The Western world believes itself the pinnacle of civilization. Eastern philosophy is dismissed as primitive superstition. Into this moment of certainty walks the Parliament of World Religions, a gathering in Chicago designed to prove Western superiority by allowing lesser traditions to speak. Thousands gather in the Art Institute on September 11, 1893. Delegates from every faith arrive to present their beliefs. Christianity dominates the stage. Buddhism sends representatives. Hinduism, too, will have a voice. But few expect that voice to matter. Few expect to be moved. Few expect their world to shake. Swami Vivekananda is 30 years old. He was born Narendranath Dutta in Calcutta, in a family of reformers and philosophers. He has spent years wandering India, meeting his guru Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, absorbing the Vedas and Upanishads not as ancient texts but as living truth. He arrives in America with no money, no connections, no English accent that would comfort Western ears. Other speakers before him have been cordial, intellectual, careful. They explain their faiths like museum curators displaying artifacts. But Vivekananda carries something different, not doctrine, but fire. Not explanation, but experience. As he approaches the podium, the hall settles. Some are curious. Some are skeptical. Some have come to confirm their suspicion that Eastern wisdom is nothing more than exotic curiosity. The moment is delicate. Fragile. Everything depends on what comes next. He reaches the podium. The hall quiets completely. And then he speaks those 2 sacred words, sisters and brothers of America. Not ladies and gentlemen. Not honored delegates. Sisters and brothers. In that moment, he does something revolutionary. He erases the distance between the stage and the audience. He erases the hierarchy of speaker and listener. He speaks as family speaks to family, as soul speaks to soul. The entire hall stands. 2 minutes of continuous applause. Women weep. Men embrace. The Western world has never heard a Hindu monk speak with such intimacy, such dignity, such absolute conviction. This is not arrogance. This is the confidence of a man who has touched something real. After the applause finally fades, he continues. He speaks of Hinduism not as ancient history but as eternal truth. He speaks of the Vedas not as mythology but as science of the soul. He speaks of every religion as valid paths up the same mountain. And with every word, the ground beneath Western certainty begins to shift. The world had never heard India speak like this. In the days that follow, Chicago newspapers struggle to capture what they witnessed. Religious leaders request private meetings with him. He is invited to speak throughout America, New York, Boston, California. Universities want him to teach. Wealthy patrons offer him money to stay and build institutions. The Parliament of World Religions intended to showcase Western superiority. Instead, it became the platform where Hindu philosophy rose before the world with unashamed power. Vivekananda returns to India a year later, carrying with him the seeds of what will become the Ramakrishna mission. He establishes schools, hospitals, centers of learning. He tells Indians that their ancient wisdom is not backward, it is profound. And he tells the world that the spiritual treasures of the East cannot be ignored. He dies in 1902 at just 39 years old. But the impact of those 2 words, sisters and brothers, echoes across more than a century. Today, when we face a world fractured by ideology and fear, we need to remember what Vivekananda understood. That true power lies not in domination but in recognition. Not in proving your truth superior but in awakening others to their own inner divinity. He did not conquer Chicago with arguments. He conquered it with love. He did not debate the existence of God. He simply spoke as a soul to souls. In our time of division, when religions clash and cultures retreat into suspicion, his message resonates even more loudly. We are all family. We are all seeking the same light from different directions. The Parliament of World Religions wanted to prove the West was greater. Vivekananda proved something far more important, that humanity is one, that wisdom belongs to no single tradition, and that when a person speaks from their deepest truth with love, the world listens. His legacy is not in monuments or institutions. It is in the simple reminder that 2 words, spoken with authenticity, can change everything. If this story of Bharat's spiritual awakening moved you, if you hunger for more tales of the sages, warriors, and visionaries who shaped our world, subscribe to this channel. Each story waits to remind you of who we are and what we are capable of becoming.